it's George the Hulk representing the Bothan Network. Doing a little deck breakdown. I don't want to so much go into a deck tech this late in meta, and I can talk about ratios and such, but I find it far more interesting to talk about the why of the deck. KTD Matty did a great version of a deck tech talking about different play lines, different high value strategies in the deck. But I didn't go into quite why play Hondo. Why Hondo over like Kira Green or any other control deck? What does he specifically offer, and why are we playing the cards that we're playing? Um, that's what I want to talk about. And a little preface this: I've had a ton of success with Hondo over set 2. It was top 25 each day at Gen Con. I got top 8 day 2, and this was super early on in the meta. Top 4 to 1K at both at the first 2 days at SGCon. I brought Hondo, the 1K and the 2K. 2K got in the finals, 1K top 4. And then a lot of success locally. So, what is this deck doing? Well, the whys of Hondo I like to break down to 3 different kind of categories. Number 1 is the smuggle value engine. When you read a smuggle card, I play, get an effect, or sometimes I pay multiple resources, sometimes just one. But effectively it says draw a card. But when you hit a certain critical mass of smuggle cards, it no longer says draw 1 card, it says draw 2 cards. Why is that? Because the card you smuggle out of your resource row is allowing you to keep a card in your hand. And let's say you smuggle in another card that you want to play, you're effectively giving yourself access to that card. Card advantage. Very strong. This allows you to respond to your opponent's threats, gives you a lot of flexibility, and in general puts you really well positioned in any sort of grindy game where you're trading cards back and forth. You have a massive advantage. Now, okay, there are other smuggle decks. Obviously, Hondo gets the +1/+1 counters from it. How do you turn that into a win condition? Well, how I like to look at XP based leaders is you get that value every turn that unit is alive. This is really common with Inferno 4. If you can get an Inferno 4 out and give it an innocuous little +1/+1 sometimes, maybe it's a Star Hopper, maybe it's a smuggling alarm pike. You get that 3/4, much harder for a lot of decks to deal with in space. Giving the client +1/+1. 2 attack doesn't do a whole lot in this game. Most of your turn 1 plays are going to have 3 health at least. But get up to 3 health. Now you're trading 2, sometimes more. The XP hits so many breakpoints and allows you to make units much stickier. And they do try and answer it. Covert strength. Punish them even harder. So, absolutely love that facet of the deck. And also, Hondo specifically, gets to do a lot of really cool things with timely intervention. Sometimes it could be like play a Ruthless Assassin or timely intervention out, a Ruthless Assassin, putting 2 damage onto an Inferno 4. Say your opponent's not going into the space lane. Got a 4/4 Overwhelm Ambush. It's really good math. You're playing play Rooks or whatever, puts 3/3. Boom. Ambush, kill it. And then Smuggle, adding to that value engine. Now, why blue? This whole concept, it's Charlton. Charlton's the most direct way to turn this card advantage we get into smuggle into more stats. And the beauty of him in this list is in general, you want to do 2 cost into a 3 cost smuggle into Charlton. So in old school lines, you'd have to pass a turn or play some sort of card advantage piece. Nowadays, it's like Dr. Pershing or such. But using this line, you can develop full stats, use all your resources efficiently, and still get that 6/6 for 4. And this is in-game numbers, like Palpatine unit has these kind of numbers. Same stats, just different distribution than Vader. Like, and it's coming out on the 4 resource turn, and it immediately impacts the board of Sentinel. Absolutely incredible linchpin of the deck. Um, Timely intervention, plus Childson. It's killed many Abobas, many leaders. Love that one. When you look at deck list, you also have lots of 2-ofs. Well, this is because uh, in Hondo, you have a lot of cards that you want to smuggle. You really don't want to be playing Starhopper. Starhopper is amazing. You can combine it with Timely Intervention to kill phantoms and such, or get some value trades in space. But it's not really what you want to be doing. You want to be resourcing it. You want to be resourcing your covert strengths. So things like 2 OBs, 2 Fellow Dragons, 2 Takedown, making openings. The reason that is because you have all these cards that you actively want to resource. You actually don't get the ability in some situations, some sequences, to resource like that third copy of removal. And you're sitting there like, oh, I have 3 making openings, or I have 3 Fellow Dragons. Not where you want to be. So I went for more of a toolbox approach with that, depending on the board state, etc. Recently, I went up to 3 takedowns just because of like Tech DJ, Blue Boba's doing things. You can kill large Boba Green units after their flip. So lots of utility there. So yeah, you got the value engine, like the snowball XP counters. What makes it different than Kira? So our late game, I chose Maul and Snoke. Maul, nice little bit of reach. Underworld synergy. You have lots of Underworld units in the deck, so lots of opportunity for killing a big unit, getting some overwhelming unit, getting some overwhelm damage, and getting some face damage. Very common. Uh, Snoke. This is here for your Boba Yellows of the world. Your decks with lots of little dudes. Largely Boba Yellow because they can't kill it. So throwing that down makes all their units either just die on play or have to attack. Very, very useful in that matchup. And just in general, huge for a value-based deck. First light on a 1 of this is a nice utility piece. I'm talking about in-game stuff. What makes it different Kira? Because if your opponent's trying to mill you out or play some sort of like super tall strategy, when they inevitably tap out, first light's there to punish them. Throw it on a long pike, come swinging in for 9 damage because we're gonna smuggle, give it an XP, and then deal 4 damage. Boom. Threaten a 9 again on the next turn if they don't take initiative. Very nice. It's not like Vision Pursuit Craft. Play this one out, mug up the opponent's air. First light later. Doing things like Timely Intervention plus Pursuit Craft. Really cool. For answering a bunch of space units. And then I think my favorite part of this deck is all the modularity. Every card in here has so many different ways it can be played to prepare for what your opponent's doing. So this is an extremely cool interaction. The client with Timely Intervention. When you Timely Intervention, you play client, you have 3 different win plays happening. Shield, ambush, +1/+1 counter. And the order in which you do that completely changes what this card is actually doing. Sometimes it is give this unit +1/+1, then put a shield on it, and then attack. So you're running into maybe something like really big. It's like a Vader kind of situation where they run in with Vader, and you're like, oh, okay, cool. I need to kill it. Boom. Sometimes you're just giving that +1/+1 to another unit that can attack face. Maybe it's an Inferno 4. Um, and then shield you attack into a unit. Maybe you're attacking into the unit and then giving it a shield. And your opponent has to attack into the client 2 more times in order to get rid of it. Or play some removal. Huge fan of that. Again, lots of modularity. Ruthless Assassin, +1/+1, put damage wherever you want. Soaks up from Maul later on. Lots of opportunity there. Even covert strength, right? Like most often, you're gonna want to smuggle it. Maybe on the flip turn. I'd call it Pirate King Hondo, where you do flip Hondo, double covert strength after your opponent tries to kill him. Make him a 7-11 and rule the seats or rule the space. Good stuff. Um, yeah, that's I absolutely adore this deck because its ability to grind out long games with card advantage, the flexibility of the cards, whether you're playing timely intervention from hand, using that card advantage, whether you're still playing a value game to go longer with like Snart Hoppers and +1/+1 counters, or whether you're just trying to finish them off with a Maul. Has a lot of plays, a lot of different decks. Um, and I definitely don't think Hondo is done. This is not the end. This is not the end of the chapter. I think he has one of the best draw engines in the game. So, and we're about to be introduced with a set full of resource cheating. So, resource cheating, card draw, something to work there. We'll find out. Anyway, I'm on my own little boat ride, going off on a cruise. So, look forward to being back around set 3. So, till next time. Why is the room always gone?